to get the name brand Welch's.
No.
Right. I'm like, that's not even your best offering. God deserves better.
That's not even your best offering. Surrounding your house in the blood. So, here we go, reaching for the stars.
Did I just spend a freezing cold afternoon walking around my yard in the snow, pouring grape juice along the entire perimeter of my property? Yes, I did. And also, I know what you're thinking. She's finally lost it, but hang in there with me. I heard another Christian talking recently about how we use the oil to anoint our homes and our people, but what we really need for protection is the blood, as in the blood of Jesus. She said if your house is filled with chaos, yelling, fighting, things breaking, just pure madness, then honey, you might need to break out the Welch's. And I was like, say less, except I went with the Kroger brand because budget. She told this story about how things in her own life were spiraling out of control, and a pastor friend had suggested that she anoint her property with the blood of Jesus, and she did it, and bam, peace, blessings, testimony galore. And listen, with the way things have been going around here lately, I figured why the heck not? If nothing else, I get a little workout in, tromping through the snow and some fresh air. I already know some of y'all are gonna go wild over this, like the time I threw my crystals out to be nearer to him, but honestly, I don't care. At worst, I wasted $6 on grape juice, and at best, my house is protected by the blood of Jesus, and we finally hop off this wild, chaotic, awful roller coaster that we've been stuck on. So here's to blessings, peace, and divine protection, and maybe some confused neighbors too, wondering why the heck I'm out here baptizing my yard in grape juice.
I love how she was like that, like she just quickly threw in there, like that one time I threw out my crystals to get closer to God. Yes. Like, you know, that tells me she's like anti-witchcraft while doing witchcraft. That little whatever she did, that's a spell.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Also, grape juice. I feel like if you're gonna actually think that Jesus's blood, I feel like you got to go full on Catholic wine, right? Not Protestant grape juice.
Oh no, but she's Protestant. You know, you're not supposed to drink. You know how much hell I've been catching for drinking? Can't use wine. That's a sin. What? You better get that Welch's grape juice. We don't drink wine in the house of the Lord.
Yeah, she couldn't cough up the extra 30 cents for Jesus to get the name brand Welch's too.
No.
Right. I'm like, that's not even your best offering. God deserves better.
That's not even your best offering. Yeah, the crystals part was it for me. And I think the way they incorporate the stigmatizing of crystals into everything, like I'm so sick of hearing fundamentalists stigmatize crystals. And people will say, oh, well, you know, she just kind of mentioned it in passing. But when you get all of these different voices stigmatizing or demonizing crystals in some shape, form, or fashion, that little subtle hint of it in that video, it actually sticks. Because you got other people who are telling you if you use crystals, you're demonic.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like Christian nationalism, it's a system of belief. So you get multiple voices all reinforcing the same message. And you got a whole generation of people out here telling folk that if they use crystals, they go into hell and they're demonic while doing a spell around your house. I don't understand it.
Oh.
Dixon, and it's also interesting to continue to see religious leaders and religious fanatics fixate on matters like this while conveniently ignoring the real shit that matters. Like, you go on their timeline, their page, ain't said shit about Gaza, ain't saying shit about Haiti, ain't saying shit about the Sudan, but you want to talk about fucking crystals and roses and shit that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of how it impacts global society and culture at large. Like, the selective outrage about things is very misplaced.
Very, very misplaced. And especially in the black church, because like the people in the black church who talk about crystals, they really ain't talking about any of the like political stuff going on, and not just politics for the sake of talking about politics, but for the sake of talking about what's affecting the people in your pews.
Right.
What's affecting their everyday lives. And then when you look at the white fundamentalist Christian nationalist space, when they talk about politics, they talk about from a totally different perspective. It's so wild.
Yeah.
It's so wild. Like, yeah. Y'all want to add anything about covering or surrounding your house in the blood?
It doesn't fucking work.
What was she protecting herself from?
Immigrants.
Probably trans people.
Oh my God.
Trans.
Right. The Haitian community.
Children. Abortion. The normal shit.
She's actually like a dark plague's coming over her house.
Yes.
Look, this is so triggering to me because when I was in my evangelical spaces, I used to do the Bound for Life rallies. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
What is that? What is Bound for Life?
Learn us.
Please tell us.
So Bound for Life is like an anti-abortion organization.
Oh.
And they go around and they do prayer protest rallies. So they stand in front of the abortion clinic or Planned Parenthood, and you put red tape over your mouth and write the word life in a black Sharpie. And then you pray this weird ass voodoo. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. That's anti-black. You pray this weird ass prayer and you're like, Jesus, forgive me of my sins against this nation. God, send revival and free America from abortion. And it's just weird. You just do witchcraft shit and say it's not witchcraft. And yeah, I'm ashamed that I ever did it, but I was deep in those streets.
It feels so normal when you're in it, though.
Right?
It's like just another Tuesday.
Right. It's like me and my friends, like, what are you doing tomorrow? My other friend's like, I'm going to the movies. Oh, I'm going to a Bound for Life prayer rally with my other Bible study zealots.
You just reminded me of the story that April told in the book when they were watching the Oscars and they had to pray during all of the commercial breaks.
Oh, that was one of the worst nights of my life. I mean,
please tell us.
It was so awkward. Okay. So I went to Pat Robertson's graduate school, Regent University, and I was on the student government, and we were going to throw a Oscar watch party because it was like a film school. So obviously it makes sense for a film school to watch the film awards. And so the administration agreed to let us use their space, but they said, but you have to make it a prayer party. And so we had, they're like, the only way we could use the space, and they like gave us money for food and stuff, is we would watch the Oscars. But then anytime there was a commercial break, we had like a whole itinerary of who we had to pray for. So like we would pray for all the winners of whoever just won the awards. And like we would take turns praying, and I had to run it with like one of my other friends. And so it ended up being me praying a lot, and you run out of stuff to pray for after. So like, I don't know who this person is who just won best wardrobe for the artist. And it's like, God, it's like we and then like we'd run out of time because the commercials were long. And so then we're just praying for random celebrities to get saved and to put Jesus in their movies. And honestly, I wanted to like Jesus in their movies. Seriously, I wish I was joking. There was this it was a ministry called a Hollywood Prayer Network. I think they still exist, that had like partnered with us. So they had like a whole brochure of like how to watch the Oscars like as a Christian, which means you just have to pray for them because it's Hollywood and all that stuff. But yeah, there was one time I even thought it was kind of silly even then. And I tried to just like take a break. It was like, okay, the commercials are going, but most people were kind of like eating their stuff. So I just like didn't get up right away to do the prayer. It's like, we just need a break. And there was a rule follower in the place that like tapped me. He's like, we're supposed to pray. It's like, yeah. So I got up like, all right, anyone want to lead this prayer? It was awful. I have yet to see Ben Stiller put Jesus in any of his films, so our prayers did not work.
Y'all ain't got no power.
No.
If you're still here, hit the subscribe button and leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about the video. And if you want to see the entire recording, it's exclusively available on our Patreon. The link is in the show notes. You can either subscribe or you can just purchase this recording a la carte. We'll see you next time as we continue to deconstruct harmful theology and build beloved community. Peace out.